Do League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Welcome towards match day number 11 of the ESL Pro League North American Division, season number 6. And it's been a little bit upside down so far in the morning of Australia, but we're finally here, Pilly, and that's all that counts.
Yeah, look, honestly, we're a little bit inverted, so sometimes it takes a while to get ourselves right side up, but a couple of tech issues, but nothing that should be holding back us moving into this match.
Nothing to stop you from, rejoicing and watching your favorite team, Splyce.
Exactly. And going up against fairly good opposition this time. Yeah, I am really excited. Really excited. It's just been it's just been, I've been ready to move into the game, and then it's been like stop and go. So now we're finally moving into the game. As soon as I see some frags, I'm going to get pumped.
Absolutely, and they are up against Cloud9 today, first thing for match day number 11, and our second matchup as well is going to be quite an interesting matchup after yesterday's performance from Complexity. It will be Complexity up against Luminosity, the battle of the Ixities, or the city, depending on which way that you want to say it. I think you were making that pun earlier backstage.
You're not meant to tell people my bad puns on air. Keep them to myself or yourself next time.
I'm completely throwing you under the bus at this stage.
No problem. No problem, Kevin. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this Splyce and Cloud9 game. Should be fairly interesting. I think are we starting off in Inferno?
Yes, we are starting off Inferno.
Ooh, spicy. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, Splyce, we saw them obviously up against Renegades the other time on Inferno. Didn't do too well, I'm fairly certain. It was Inferno that... No, it was the opposite way around. It's like Splyce picked Inferno and then they got smashed by Renegades, but then when Renegades played Cobblestone, Splyce smashed them. But I think there wasn't too much to take out of that one. Renegades finally understood how to play Counter-Strike. It was just they're probably a little bit not awake that morning. And the Splyce, obviously one of our ECA Mountain Dew developmental teams, they do have good strategies behind it. So I'd like to see how they go. Cloud9 didn't have the most impressive showing on Inferno yesterday. I was watching them. They did have trouble kind of taking that Nana control towards the CT side. We saw Stewie2K actually losing a lot of deals, which is uncharacteristic. Maybe it'll turn up today and who knows, maybe the Nana control will be complete. But they did struggle a little bit against Ghost Gaming, which is also, I think, taking a little bit away from Ghost Gaming. I love hyping the underdogs up, but Ghost Gaming definitely played a great Inferno game yesterday. So I'd like to see what that Splyce can bring to the table.
Yeah, if Splyce is my favorite team, then Ghost Gaming's got to be your favorite team. But we'll see how Splyce do go on Inferno up against Cloud9. Definitely not going to be any easy feat. Obviously, it goes without saying Cloud9's just, one of the best teams in North America. So we'll see if Splyce is going to be able to play up to standard. They're going to be the ones who need to dig deep and lift. But, so far I haven't really seen a too unimpressive game apart from maybe that 16-1 against Renegades. But can't always put that down to Splyce, playing so poorly. Mitch going to push up into the apartments and just take a little bit of control, spot for some information. He's going to fall back in towards the A side pit. He's spotting the Cloud9 players moving up into the apartments, so they are fully aware that Cloud9 have this control. And over on the B side, they're playing a bit of tricky setup, just spotting for some information and possibly baiting them into a stack.
I actually really like what Mitch did just then, because normally you see that the CT player, the first one coming out, will do the drive-by through, through the apartments, through Boiler. He'll just jump, take a peek at information, second mid, and then back out. But what at the situation Mitch did was that he actually showed himself for a little bit longer to try and draw the fact that it's like, hey, maybe we're stacking A site, but they're really stacking B, but it's not worked out. They're just coming straight towards A, and now Mitch has a lot of work to do, but Rush, he's going to continue the good form and just open up on towards the A bomb site. There's no one left here, so now begins the mass rotation. Only a smoke and kit for Davey to work with on the side of Splyce. And there it is, the bomb planted in default position, as now the retake is most likely going to be hampered as Cloud9 have very, very good post-plant positions. Yeah,
and it was a really good setup from them. They took complete control of that apps and the diggity position, just sort of spotting out where Splyce might be playing. Once they had confirmed that they moved back into the site, they smoke off Moto and Haystack as they go into the bomb site. Stewie gets himself 2, Drone trading back 1 as well as Semphis, and they drop the kit, so they're going to have to hunt down these kills. But Automatic, I think that's a 4K from him in the post plant, just balling out of control. Easy from him.
It was Stewie and Audi.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, 2 for 2?
Yeah, 2 for 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Easy to get them. No, never mind. As we move into...
It's much more muchness. Look, they get 4 pistol kills between both of them.
It's the hair, mate. It's the hair.
Yeah, they have it's just like that kind of just gelled back hair, just a little bit top towards the left.
Yep.
You can picture it, forehead exposed.
Bit like you, Kevin.
No, that's not gelled. It's just anti-grav for some reason. It's if I could figure out the technology which made my hair stick up, it's like no gel inside it. I'm fairly certain I'd create something which would generate electricity by itself because it just can't be explained by normal physics.
It's just naturally beautiful, and unfortunately, unlike your Counter-Strike skills, which your genetics do not really help out on.
Oh, thanks, dude.
As looks like Cloud9 just going to poke up for a little bit of brackets control here, just spreading out, making sure to defend any sort of aggression coming out of the Splyce side. They have bought a couple of smokes, so that's really going to delay what Cloud9 wants to do here. They're going to boost up automatic on top of the porch area, just take a little pick into the pit. Nothing for him to see so far, so pretty big swell of Cloud9 players towards that middle area, and they might be walking into 3 potential Splyce players here, but still 2 smokes left on the Splyce side to delay any potential pushes, and it looks like one of those is towards the B site, one of them is towards the A site, so walking up into the jungle. I don't think Drone actually spotted them moving in there, and he might be trying to bait them into a bit of a push through there, catch them on the off angle as they smoke off the library area, and Mitch grabs automatic.
He doesn't grab the AK though, so sure they know where his position is, but at the same time the AK is not retrieved and Skadoodle will be able to take down Mitch. Drone pushing with the CZ, will have assistance from Semphis at pit. They'll take down Rush towards a graveyard position. So Cloud9, they had a little bit of trouble on the pistols yesterday on the anti-eco, but they should be able to reset now. Stewie is doing his best to duel out towards Diggity, and then Skadoodle is going to join in the party. There's not enough ammunition for Semphis to fight in pit, and he's dead. So Cloud9, they lose a few weapons. They actually lose one of the AKs, I believe, so it's not the best, but they do take the round forward.
Yeah, it's not like they just went for a full meme buy with a bunch of MAC-10s and stuff like that. You know, they bought up quite a few rifles, and losing those rifles is definitely no easy hit for your economy. Although they did get bomb plant down in both rounds. Stewie's going to grab himself a MAC-10, try to farm up some of the cash that they've lost, and I think they've actually rebought Galil's, which is a bit puzzling to me, but, you know, each to their own. As they're just going to spread out once again.
Maybe
try
it's
to
practice
wait.
time.
Yeah.
They can, because you don't really want to always bring, I know that sounds really bad, but you don't always want to bring, you know, your 100% game. Sometimes you might want to bring like probably a 70 or 80%, and you want to try new things in Pro League, because that's where your experimental ground is, right? You've got a little bit of space to test out things that work, things that don't work against some of the developmental teams, and then you can kind of push the boundaries. Because how are you meant to get better with the Galil if you never use it? Obviously, it comes to a situation where you've got to use a Galil because it's a high-pressure situation. And you come in, it's just like, yeah, I don't remember practicing with the Galil. I don't remember the spray control. And then you're just getting absolutely taken out. And Stewie is going to open up towards library. And there's no one else on the A-bomb site. So this round is being navigated quite well by Cloud9 this time.
All Galil tangents aside from Kevin, it's a terrible weapon. Don't buy that one. As Stewie's just going to hunt down the rest of Splyce inside of the B site and the ruins area. Grabs himself one more. He's looking for more MAC-10 kills, farming himself up plenty of cash here. But he's going to get put down by Mitch, who is also binked his teammate. So adding some stat tracks there to his blueprint, but not really going to do anything to sort of win the round as Cloud9 go up 3-0. But in comes the buyer from Splyce, so we'll see if they're able to get anything done here. Roka opting for the FAMAS and plenty of utility. Molotovs across the board from the Splyce side, so they will be able to prevent any potential rushes from the Cloud9 side. Any, you know, quick plays up that banana or middle area will be fairly easily staved off, provided that they do drop those Molotovs. So anticipating a fairly slow round here, just a fairly standard sort of passive default out of Cloud9. And Splyce haven't really got any AWPs, so their potential, you know, their pick potential is really limited by the amount of flashbangs they have, to be honest, and they've only got 2 of them, so.
They've already used a lot of the early incendiary grenades that they've sacrificed before. Like, they sacrificed firepower for fire, literally, and they've all gone now towards that Nana position.
It's a minute 20 seconds into the round, and they have no incendiaries left, and they've done 0 damage to Cloud9, so I don't know if I can really support that one, to be honest. Looks like Cloud9's going to go for a bit of Nana control now that, you know, they do know there's not much utility left on the side of Splyce. Mitch being pushed off that arch position, and he's not really going to get anything done. And man, Splyce is playing this one awfully passive, Kev, and they're giving a lot of map control to Cloud9, and I don't really think that that's the greatest idea when you're letting them have such advanced positions towards the bomb site. It's going to be so easy for them to go for an execute. I like this push-up from Mitch, but Automatic's completely ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no flashbang timing behind it. It's just a chance whether you're going to catch one of the members of Cloud9. And you can see that they're just ready and waiting. Smokes now coming towards the balcony and the pit. There is a double stack in pit, but they are literally boxed in with nowhere to go. Drone, though, will be able to take down Rush. Still hiding his head, which means he is quite safe. And Sempha's just darting around the edge of the smoke. The bomb plant will go down safe on the bomb site. Tarek's actually been boosted up. This is not a spot you'd expect, but Davey will be able to see him just floating around. And Stewie can't peek two angles at the same time. Davey's done particularly well in this round. Now Automatic has to step up, and Automatic's only found one before he's traded out. Now Scar's going to find two before finally he's taken down on the site by Drone, who's just waiting. Will be able to take the round for Splyce, and Cloud9 not really clearing out pit. They showed a lot of respect, and that was literally their downfall at the end.
Your boy Davey with the 280 characters, 3K, going out of control.
Jeez. Oh, that was a tweet and a half. Or just tweet. It's like 10 tweets by itself.
But he does get himself the 3K in the round, so all tweets will be forgiven. He's done, and all of those 3 kills were his first 3, so if you're going to step up in the round, the first gun round's a good time to do it. Plenty of utility up for Splyce again. We're going to see if they're going to use it very aggressively this time. Definitely don't want to find themselves in the crosshair of that AWP from Skadoodle. His form's been a bit up and down as of late, but he had a very good game recently, so I wouldn't be feeling too chancy.
So once again, top mid control being resumed from Cloud9, just trying to now use manpower to try to push Mitch back. I dare say that Mitch, if a single flashbang comes forward, Mitch is in big trouble. He's holding close to the UMP. If he goes, he's in a one and done position effectively. He can even get 1 kill, that'd be pretty sick, but Skadoodle. You don't expect him to miss those, and he's going to open up towards A site once again. There's not the double pit stack this time, and the jungle control's now coming out. There's a smoke, but it's not a very effective smoke towards mini pit, and Tarek is just helping watch the line. Drone is stuck on site with Semphis and pit this time around. Drone has the M4, and he's going to be taken out instantly by Tarek. Now it's off to Semphis with the UMP, but Tarek just comes flying out of balcony, finds another headshot, and now Splyce. Just going to be looking to save these 2 assault rifles. No way back in towards the A bomb site in Cloud9. They've just reset their economy.
They have indeed, and very crucial for Splyce to hold on to these rifles because they're not going to be seeing any for a couple of rounds in a row now. Good for Cloud9 to take that round out. Should be building up their economy fairly nicely. And with only 1 player surviving in the previous round, like you said, Kev, their money's going to be looking pretty sad. And they're going to have to be relegated down to the pistols. 2E2K is on the prowl. Molotov out towards the new box. That's going to flush 1 player out. I believe that is Rocker. So he's going to run to the emo corner. And Davey going to pick off Automatic on the hunt. Off angle there from Rocker. Doesn't quite work out for him. Davey picking off Stewie. So Davey looks like he's going to hang on to his M4. That is pretty much the only good news for Splyce.
Yeah, I mean, at that stage, even if Stewie traded his life, it doesn't really matter. You take 1 M4 off, it's better than keeping 2 M4s on the field. Those 2 M4s could have done a lot of damage. That's not saying Davey can't do any more damage with this, but it does make it exponentially more difficult for Splyce now to hold on and try to, you know, break Cloud9's economy because they do have to rebuy a few AK-47s. And Cloud9 can just still keep swinging with pistols, with the CZ Force Buy. You can see Skadoodle already so fast up Nana. There's no utility to really combat this Nana take. And now Cloud9 can just spread across the map, slowly take map control, and we'll probably see for the next minute just meandering around from the rest of the players as Stewie looks like he wants to entry with the help of Scar.
Yeah, look, there's no real questions about, you know, Cloud9 in this series, but if Splyce is going to step up, you know, individually they're going to have to be playing a little bit better than this. Davey's sort of the only one having any impact on those really important rounds, and that's really not good enough for your in-game leader to sort of try to be multi-fragging and carrying you through the rounds. The others are going to have to step up if they're going to have any chance against Cloud9 here. And so far that is not the case, but fairly early days. See what Skadoodle's going to do with the AWP. He's just holding the angle at the moment. And Splyce is not stacked up towards either bomb site, despite only being on the pistols. They're actually going to play fairly respectful, playing fairly back.
It should be the... Oh, I thought he was lining up Molotov and new box, but Roker is going to get taken down instantly by Stewie and Davey. He's got the single flashbang to work with. Looks like he's still going to push forward, but that's not going to work because Stewie is playing anti-flash, so now the M4 has been lost for good as well. And the rest of Splyce, all in the A bomb site. It's all up to Tarek to see what he can do with his stats and if he can keep his AK up alive, and he's doing quite well. It's all up to Semphis with a CZ to see if he can pick off anything he can, and Tarek, I think, will spot him out. So Tarek with 3 towards the end. Easy stats for him and Cloud9 up to a 5-1 start. Splyce, they come and bind this one. This makes it start looking so painful because every single time, if Splyce just win one round and they drop the economy afterwards, they're back onto the double eco. You just got to wait, and Cloud9 just can absolutely field day.
I would grab some HE nades if I was Splyce here. Really going to need to start shaving away the economy of Cloud9. They're going to go for a full save with USPs, and they're splitting up 2-3 again. I just really don't get it, Kev. Like, if you're at a disadvantage in a round like this in terms of, you know, weaponry, you have to kind of take a risk at some point, and there's no real point in just, you know, spreading out 2-3 like you would normally hold the bomb site in a round like this. I understand it's a bit of a throwaway, but if you're serious about winning this game, every kill matters, and even the eco rounds, you have to get something done in them. Rocker does get something done in Stewie. I believe that's his first kill of the game, so hopefully to see a couple more in the actual gun rounds from him, if Splyce is going to do anything at all. Drone just playing from the pit there. Actually baits Tarek into pushing up onto the balcony, and Semphis takes him out but doesn't manage to retain the AK. So Davies on the AK. Going to come from bottom mid, see if he can get any more exits. And this is actually a pretty good situation. 2 kills already from the Splyce side with a full USP save across the board. They didn't really do anything too fancy to deserve it, to be honest. Just a little bit of undisciplined play from coming out from Cloud9. Splyce is not really giving them a run from their money so far, so
yeah,
they're getting a little bit lax.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the kills that Splyce did get on there was just kind of Cloud9 just looking a little bit too confident and just not checking their sectors correctly.
Sector was not clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rush
just,
pushing up.
yeah, pretty much is now automatic, looking to get more kills. Oh, jeez. That's messy, though. Cloud9 do take the round, but that was just overall just not a pleasant round to really watch. I mean, good if you're you know, you're a Splyce fan. Splyce did a lot of damage to the USPs, but not good if you're a Cloud9 fan, because they're just kind of like, they lost almost 3 people to USPs. I'm not sure if Automatic did die towards the end, actually. Don't think he did.
So here we go. Semphis has got the AWP. That save on Davey definitely doing a little bit of a favour for their economy. Full utility across the board. Semphis is going to... Yep. Semphis has been dropped the ult by his old mate. That grenade doing a lot of damage onto Skadoodle and Stewie. Semphis playing passive on the jungle angle. Looks like a pretty quick B play from Cloud9 here, taking control of Banana with 4 players. Semphis not going to rotate off that jungle position. He is holding like a rock. Even though there is really no pressure here up at the A-bomb site, and they're just playing back in the pit and in graveyard at the very start of the round. Interesting sort of a idea there, as Semphis really stays in the jungle area. They're going to basically trust Rocker and Davey to hold the B-bomb site, and that trust is rewarded.
And they're able to shift their position as well. Tarek is going to die as well. Now it's all to Skadoodle. That is a great Splyce hold. Skadoodle just throws away the AWP. He doesn't want to give them a secondary AWP. He just go into his own death, and Splyce, that is a critical round. If they're able to keep all 5 rifles up, it's great for their economy as well. And that's a successful B hold where Cloud9, they just went a little bit too quickly, didn't really get the trade, started pushing through the Molotovs, and probably took Nana control way too aggressively on the back of the HE grenades, and Mitch will finish things up after Davies and Roker's successful B-side hold. So a little bit of life in Splyce. You like seeing it. Yeah,
there is, but I don't know. I'm not really a fan of their setup so far on the CT side of Inferno. Like, I understand it wasn't even that like early in the round that Cloud9 went for that contact play onto B. It was like a minute to go. They took control of the Nana, like fairly standard stuff, one towards the apartments, but Splyce were, you know, playing passively in pit and graveyard at the very start of the round, not really getting any information towards the apartments, no aggressive mid-pick from Semphis just to find out where some players might be, or even just hear some footsteps towards the boiler area. So at that point, you have literally no idea whether there's 1, 0, 14 in carpets. You have absolutely no information, and you're fully trusting, you know, your teammates to hold on each bomb site with the 3-2. And, you know, that's not the worst thing in the world, but once you get to this tier of Counter-Strike, it's a question of how many edges and how much information are you really throwing away just to play sort of really standard. Stewie left alone in the Nana does trade 1 for 1, and That's not too bad for Splyce, you know. Usually you would say that the 1-for-1 trades sort of favour the T side, but the reason for that would be that it gives you, you know, it splits up the defense and gives you a lot of, you know, room to sort of make plays later in the round. But the thing is that the way that the kill was obtained there for the Splyce side is taking control of the banana, which means that they still have 3 on this A bomb site, which is the only place Cloud9 can really hit without really contesting Davey into that AWP angle on Nana. They're going to smoke off the arch and the library and move up into splitting that A bomb site.
Yeah, it should work quite well. Drone, yes, he will fall towards Rush. Automatic missing a few of the shots. Now Mitch has a lot of work to do on site. There's nothing he can do. Just pins it off. He actually has managed to pick off Rush, and Automatic actually pushes into library and takes down Stephens with the AWP. So Davey, he was able to get the 1-for-1 at Nana earlier, but now left all up to him with the AWP. Might just want to save it. Splyce can buy up in the next round if he takes this AWP through to the next round, but I think he's just a little bit scared that Automatic will chase the AWP. So he's just trying to play towards a speedway as well as library area and pushing aggressively up.
Yeah, look, the 1-for-1 in Nana in that round is actually semi-favorable for Splyce in the sense that it gives them so much information that Cloud9 can't be towards that B area. But the thing that really cements the round for Cloud9 is not only their smokes on the arch and the library, which completely neutralizes Semphis. Semphis in that position, if he had committed maybe towards Moto or something of that nature, as opposed once the banana control was obtained, as opposed to sitting in the library area and sort of playing retake on that area of the map, he could have been more effective just due to what happened. But the smokes and the timing from Cloud9 really cement them that round, and unfortunately, that's going to put Splyce on pretty much this is their last buy at the moment, unless they secure themselves this round. And Cloud9, I mean, already 7 rounds on the T side. Things are getting scary here for Splyce.
Yeah, this is the part where Splyce just needs to dig deep and just try to grind out a few more rounds to just make the T side look a little bit more appealing. If it gets blown out here for Cloud9, then Splyce, they don't have enough to work with on the T side. We've seen a little bit of structure for them in the past, but it doesn't matter if you have structure if you have really good strats. Cloud9 can just out-aim you in 1 round, and that's it. Your hopes are dashed, done for.
Yeah, the setups are, I mean, unless Splyce has a really good read on what Cloud9's doing, it's just a really weird setup. They've left Davey solo on B with the AWP, and he's playing passively. And the rest of Splyce is set up in this pit area. They're triple pit at the moment with the one player towards the jungle area. It's going to be a really good setup against what Cloud9's doing, actually. But fortunately, Rocker overextends a little bit too much, doesn't let the push come in from Tarek, and Tarek's just going to blow his head off. Semphis getting 1 for him from on top of the balcony, but he gets instantly traded. And, you know, it's not really working out for Splyce, despite having these, you know, interesting setups that may or may not be the sort of right approach to what Cloud9's doing. It's not working. Doesn't matter. They're getting out-aimed. They're getting outclassed completely.
And they heard Drone as well. He fired 2 silenced and 4 shots, and then the silencer muffles the sound, but Cloud9 just going to be like, huh? What was that noise? And then just look towards pit. They just go, you got a silenced M4? No? Okay, there's another CT lurking somewhere in here. They play triple pit, and really, really smart contact play from Cloud9. After Tarek gets the first kill, even though he was walking in, there was a second member ready to trade out whatever angle of CT came through, and Davey should be able to shut down Rush right now. Rush just out with a knife, trying to evade shots, and Davey, he will miss the first shot. They know where he is now, and Rush will punish Davey for missing the first one and the second. So Cloud9, not only have they reset Splyce once again, but no guns taken to the next round as well, which is just very, very painful.
Splyce, they're not showing up individually, and to the same token, their strategy is just a little bit questionable in the sense that, you know, it's not the worst thing at all to just be sort of, you know, playing towards either bomb sites. Changing up your setups on the CT side can really throw up your opponent, but they're really limiting their information gathering in the sense that they could be a little bit, you know, picking towards Nana for some information, which they have been now and then. They could be closer up towards the apartments, you know. Always on that CT side when you're playing any map, really. You can play a more forward position at the start of the round, and that can get you a little bit of information. That can get you, you know, how many Ts are in this area of the map, which can really sort of help you adjust your rotates and adjust your setups towards the later part of the round. But Splyce seem to be really favouring playing inside the bomb site early on and just relying on their stacks, relying on utility usage, and relying on their players playing, you know, very strongly individually and just holding off bomb sites and being able to multi-frag. And that's not what is really happening for Splyce. So they're going to really need to adjust their CT setup, or Cloud9's going to completely keep rolling over them like it's happening right now.
Yeah, I'd like to see a few more flashbangs coming out to try to retake top mid. Have one person playing in pit, maybe one diggity. You pop the flash just above quad and you push in, try to get information, try to get kills, but you utilize utility to do so, not just concede so much map control. Even now in the stack, Cloud9 have now known there's no one towards the A side. They just go, all right, it's a B stack, and Stewie's just going to have a field day. He knows that they're towards B.
Even just earlier in that half with Mitch playing the one and done with the ump, it just doesn't make sense, you know? He's not really going for the information, and at the same time, he's sort of just taking that, you know, one and done angle duel by himself, and it doesn't really benefit Splyce in any way. He gets traded out 1-for-1 at best, and he doesn't really grab any extra information for his team. Those are some sharp shots from Stewie. He's going to add, I mean, I was going to say he's going to add to the stat track a little bit, but he doesn't even have a stat track on that gun.
That was sharp, though. He's able just to flick onto the CT guy. It's an anti-eco, but that's just confidence at the moment. Stewie's just going, I know they're all at B site. I'll just go charging in. I believe a tactical pause has come out for Splyce, but there's not much to talk about except for, I don't know.
There's everything to talk about for Splyce.
They just need to step up their game. They need to take more map control right now, but they're probably going to discuss how. Like, how do you take map control of Cloud9, who are just so good at clearing out these lines? Sure, it's been a little bit scrappier sometimes, but Cloud9 have succeeded in taking map control time after time. How should Splyce shut this down?
Well, I would say that, you know, if they're going to run the gimmicky, well, I would say gimmicky setups that they're doing at the moment with in terms of just stacking the bomb sites and stuff like that, like 3 in pit, stuff like that, in the early round even, and just relying on that, defending that late round push. You know, play a little bit more forward, play up in the apartments with 2 or 3 people, maybe play in banana and really fight for that control. At least at that point, you're sort of, if you're playing, you know, more sort of stack-orientated setup on the CT side, at least you're gaining something from that. You're gaining an area of the map, or you're gaining some information on what Cloud9 might be doing, and then you can adjust for it in the late round. Instead, they're sort of just going, well, we're going to throw scissors by, you know, playing 3 on this B bomb site, and we're hoping that you hit this, and if you don't, we're stuffed, basically. And we have no idea what you're doing because we're not finding it out.
I think Stewie's already aware of the danger. He's just gone, yeah, no, I've just left Nana open, guys. Let's just go towards second mid and just execute through apps as well as top mid. You can see already, they just come out, they've got apps control, Splyce, they pushed Nana early on, they've left Davey behind, and now they're rotating members towards A.
And that's much better from Splyce. This is much more what they need to do. They've got the map control. Davey's just going to spot out anything touching that banana area as they do smoke it off, and it's really going to limit Cloud9's options. They have to hit A into 4 people in this earlier part of the round, or they have to go back to B with 30 seconds to go, and that should give Splyce plenty of time to rotate. Looks like a bit of a jungle split. Rocker's 1-for-1ing in that closet area. He doesn't really need to fight for that jungle control, you know. You could play that arch area if he's worried about the B wrap and then sort of wrap in behind the Cloud9 side, but that 1-for-1 gives Cloud9 so much control, and you know, they're just getting the picks, really. They're really winning the engagements. They're looking like the much sharper team and the better team overall. And I'm not a fan of Rocker playing that closet area by himself, to be honest. If you're worried about that B wrap, like I said, you can play in the arch and really punish that. And it still allows you to sort of help your team in the sense that you can wrap in behind the Ts when they go for that A push. As the rest of the team is, you know, sort of playing in pit, they should be playing fairly passive angles, forcing the Ts to take those engagements at Moto. And you know, everything Cloud9's doing has worked. Splyce isn't really doing too much to sort of adjust to this strategy. They did a good job taking that Nana control and sort of forcing the strat, but when you're not able to hit the shots, you're not able to sort of defend that aggression from Cloud9 when the hit does actually come in, then it doesn't really matter what you do.
And what was Davey doing?
Going for a bit of a Dosia play, but he didn't have the nades, so...
Didn't have the nades, didn't have... I mean, he was still jumping, and Rush was just ready and waiting, just making sure. I mean... Cloud9 in double digits, Splyce. There was hope. There was potential. Mitch was so excited. He's like, yeah, I get to see Davey and the boys, and there's not really been much today in automatic. We'll spot this push coming down from mid. Oh, that's a good trade, though, coming out from Splyce. Ironic that it comes out in the pistol round, and well, that hope has now been semi-what shut down. Down towards a one-on-one. It's going to be Rush up against Semphis. Very, very quick action across the board. Semphis too low. Oh, Rush! He nearly misses the shots on a 5 HP player, and you'd hate to see that happen after such a dominating start from Cloud9. They've only looked shaky on the 1B execute and on the anti-ecos. On the full buys, they've looked absolutely dominated. They're just in cruise control, which is just ironic.
And look, that just goes to show, when you're playing up against a team of Cloud9's caliber and you're the underdog, sometimes you need to throw in those gimmicky plays, those aggressions that's going to catch them off guard. Sometimes that's the kind of way that you can set up a favorable situation or a round that seems winnable for you. There's no shame in fighting dirty when you're an underdog. And Mitch, I'm not really sure. He's got no teammates in position to really help him out if he misses that shot, and he does. So Rocker and Semphis doing a great job on Banana. They actually dropped the bomb bottom mid. Cloud9's got control of this A bomb site. Drone's going to grab Skadoodle, and Trade's going back and forth. But bit of a weird round leaves Splyce in a favorable situation. But this Rocker's just pushing through a smoke by himself. All the Splyce players just getting caught out on their own without any really support, potential being there from their teammates, and doesn't make much sense to me, Kev.
It's all right. It's okay, Mitch. It's early morning.
Look, I might sound like I'm a huge Splyce hater at the moment. I'm criticizing their play, but I actually love this team. I love watching them play, and I believe that their roster has so much potential. So it's just disappointing for me when I see, them play the CT side of Inferno like this. That's all. Let's see if they're going to be able to retake though. They need every round that they can get at this point. They're kind of getting stomped a little bit.
And Cloud9 have definitely showed up as well. It's so difficult when Cloud9 are playing in the form they are in an automatic. He's actually in a very open position, and Davey will hit that one.
He's showing up for the boys, the in-game leader of Splyce, and he's really the only one showing up in this match so far.
I'd say it's like a little bit overconfident. Automatic knew where the AWP was as well, and for him to peek, to stand still at that angle, it's kind of like, yeah, I reckon I can win this aim duel because we're 11-2 up. You normally see probably him playing around the headshot box in the middle of the site, jiggling around, making it very difficult for the AWP to hit. You're just giving yourself the entire target for Davey to hit.
Yep.
Splyce are going to win that from a little bit of charity, I'd argue, from Cloud9, but they still do win on the back of some good individual play. Now they have to take this final one. Otherwise, their T side might not be a T side at all. Just be 2 over too quickly.
Yeah, the 12-3 half is always brutal because once your opponent wins that pistol, it's all over from there. Stewie peeking. Oh my god, what is that from Stewie? Wall banging rocket on that second shot, and it's all over there.
Yeah, Cloud9 just going to split at the moment. Just be like, yeah, I'm just going to take an aim duel here, over there. I might take one as well. Stewie's just going to hop out of construction and then kill the last guy. No, okay. He was just holding the angle, but that round was just over and done with very quickly with 2 really, really massive entry frags towards Nana and Stewie. I mean, he's had a much better game this time around, but for Splyce, there was like a couple of positives. Like Davey's probably like the standout player, but there was a lot of question marks in terms of what was going on for the rest of the team.
Yeah, look, I just really feel like, especially when I'm watching Splyce against this, better tier of opposition, they struggle to show up a little bit on a couple of their players sometimes, and the ones that usually are sort of stepping up against that top tier of opposition, I would probably say Semphis doesn't do too bad most of the time. This game is not really showing up too much, and Davey having a bit of trouble. Was this Splyce pick, or was this a Cloud9 pick?
Most likely a Cloud9 pick, given the fact that they started T-side. I don't see many teams going, oh yeah, Inferno, we'll start T-side. I still think teams want to pick CT side because it's like, well, it's CT side bias, but whether it's truly CT sided, it's a different story. It's still a map that's being explored. Sometimes you look at CT side, stomp it out, it's like, yep, this is still biased as ever, and then sometimes you see like the T side take complete control and you just go, how do the CTs even have a chance? In a situation like this, you look at it, it's like, what do the CTs do? Well, it's just difficult.
Yeah, I mean, in that half, they didn't really do themselves any favours. Their positioning wasn't the greatest. The utility usage was a bit mismanaged in the earlier parts of the half and then underutilised in the rest of the half for the most part. So they need to really set up more favourable engagements for themselves, and hopefully they'll be able to do that on their T side.
Well, let's see if Splyce can bring it back on the T side. We're just going for a short break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Hello everyone, welcome back. Half time between the match between Cloud9 as well as Splyce. We are still in Inferno, but 12-3 for Cloud9 so far, making it look pretty easy. There was one thing I didn't ask you before the match started, is that... Okay, so before the match, what kind of odds would you have given Splyce? And then now, what kind of odds would you give Splyce?
I would give Splyce, I don't know. I would say that, you know, if the Splyce players hit their peak and they sort of turn up, then maybe they have I'd say 1 in 5 is pretty accurate.
20%?
Yeah, 20% chance, maybe a little bit less actually.
That's them peaking in Cloud9.
Them peaking and Cloud9 being a bit especially on
Yeah.
Cloud9's map pick, it'd be really, really hard for them. But at this point, up 12-3, all they got to do is lose a pistol, and they're going to have to claw back so many rounds on the T side, and they didn't even look really organised or familiar with how to play their positions on the CT side. So I'd probably give them less than 5 now.
Less than 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably sounds about
1
right.
or 2%.
About so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we want to hype up the developmental teams that come through ECA Mountain Dew League. So it's like every single time. I mean, we like seeing Splyce. It's like they have on the T side. I think it will look a little bit better because they will show a lot more structure compared to the CT side. Because a lot of the CT, like a lot of the teams that are coming out on the CT side, they play really respectfully, too passive sometimes. So like even though you felt like Roka playing towards that cubby position, towards jungle side. Imagine if he had backup. Imagine they 3-stack top mid and it was an absolute slaughter fest, and they just went towards Cloud9. You know what? This is our territory. This is our hood. You're not coming here. There was none of that. It was just literally like, we're a little bit scared, so we're just gonna sit back and let you come into us, and then we're just gonna die anyway.
Yeah, well, it just doesn't make sense. Like, there was some rounds where they were using all their Molotovs in the first, 20 seconds of the round. There was some rounds where literally 3 different players that game played jungle. You had Mitch, who fought it with the ump by himself, and then you had
in like a one and done
Rocker in a one and done position,
yeah.
fighting by himself, and then you had Semphers playing it completely passively with the AWP in the round where they sort of needed to start working out what Cloud9 was actually doing, because Cloud9 had just run a default. It was the second gun round, and they weren't really getting anything going for themselves. So, I mean, some AWPers, they're going to rely on those more passive sort of play styles, be like, I'm just going to shut down this line of the map. But when you're sort of starting to lose control of the game, that's where you really need to step up as an individual player. And when you've invested a lot of money in a gun like the AWP, you need to take the game by the balls and step up.
Indeed, in Cloud9, just expect a little bit less respect coming out from them. Semphis is jump spotting, but it doesn't reveal the fact that Rush was actually spotting towards second mid. Now that information is going to be revealed, so Splyce haven't really showed their hand in either of Cloud9. Just some early informational plays from both sides as the round will reset for what looks like to be an A-side take, as most of Splyce are set up towards second mid. Only single smoke and 2 flashbangs, so potentially God Flash is coming forward. No, there's a single flashbang coming out from Roka.
And why has Roka got the utility? Isn't he known as like a pretty sick aimer, especially on these pistol rounds and stuff like that? Like, just doesn't make much sense to me. He should probably be the one running out first with the armor, but Splyce committing through a smoke. Semphis getting something done in Diggity, but he's the only one, unfortunately. Another pretty straightforward round, and that's going to put Cloud9 up to 13, and the game's pretty much over at this point. They've lost the pistol. Force buying pistol armor on the T side is really depressing now that the Tech 9 sucks, so...
Yeah, just buy the CZ. I don't know why less people buy the CZ now, as Tarek's going to clean up the pistol round. It's a pretty good gun.
Doesn't really work on the T side as well.
Dualies? They're $400.
$400. That's a 20% discount.
Exactly. Absolute bargain. You can now buy 2 flashbangs.
You can buy 2 pistols for 400?
Yeah, you can buy dualies in a kit. No one can ever accuse you of not being a team player anymore. You couldn't do that before.
Dualies and a molly on the T side.
Exactly.
That's so sick. First you burn them down so that the dualies might have a chance at killing them, and then you stop to run
like
at them.
like they're on 1 HP and the dualies still won't kill them because they're pretty garbage tier, I'm not gonna lie. The amount of times you double dink someone's like the Glock is legitimately more effective than the dualies at the moment. You're just getting 10 more bullets than the fact that you just killed some of the dualies.
Your boy Davey pulling out the sword off. Get off my lawn, you little whippersnappers.
I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, I like him playing apps and everything, but just given how Cloud9 is playing back a little bit more, they're spotting the information, Tarek's just gone, no, I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to back out.
He's already taken a shot, and Tarek's instantly gone to the balcony. He's like, nope. I'm done with this apartments.
Yeah, it's just literally, oh, how do you counter a sawn off? Just literally sit anything more than 5 meters away, you're completely fine. Anything less than 5 meters, you're dead. Anything more, different story. Roku will check the corner. We'll be able to find the kill on towards Stewie, but Automatic holding his line quite well. Now comes the USB and Davey. Yeah, that's not the sawn off, that's the Desert Eagle, and now 1 and 3.
Yeah, he's actually in a pretty good position to get a bomb plant down. Don't know what his chances of winning the round are, especially if he's going to just straight up take the aim duel versus Tarek in the open. Honestly, not the worst sort of judgment call to make. When you're in that 1-on-3 and you can create an opportunity where you're getting yourself a 1-on-1, it's not too bad. But when you're sort of trying to strafe and take it with the Deagle, you're going to severely reduce your odds, especially against someone like Tarek, who's got some pretty decent aim on him. Decent's an understatement. Full force buy here from Splyce. They don't really have a choice because they don't actually want to lose this game.
I don't think anyone wants to lose a game. That's illegal.
Illegal.
That is illegal.
It's
like,
against the law.
Exactly. That is an actual cybercrime.
We will call the cyber police. There will be swift mercy dealt out. I mean, swift justice, not
There will be no mercy dealt out.
No mercy.
Right now, Splyce
There's
not
no
getting...
mercy for Splyce right now, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And there you have it. So they're pushing forward. Oh, what are you doing, mate? Drone will be able to get the trade, so Automatic will lose his life. But there is already 3 towards the A-bomb site. You can see how fast Tarek's already pushed up towards Nana. Flashbangs coming forward. Good flashbangs, though. Entry coming out from Drone once again. Scar with the CZ. He doesn't even have any more guns, and Rush will find 2. Davey, last man left standing. Scar has the CZ, but Davey finding 2 now. Now down towards a 1-on-1. Davey can back it out towards a B bomb site. That's what he's going to do. Going through arches. Yeah, he'll be able to make it out. Good play coming out from Davey. Still got the CZ in hand. Won't be able to have a primary. But at least Splyce have a bit of a chance in this round now.
He has. I mean, Davey's the one alive. He's the only one who's turned his monitor on for this game. So that's a good person to keep alive. As Tarek's all the way in the pit. He has got a kit, so he's got a decent chance of winning this one if he does quite make it there. He might try to bank a nade into the new box as well, which would be pretty unfortunate for Davey.
2 flashbangs to work with.
No, he's just going to... Ooh, he holds on to it.
I think he suspects that he won't be playing close to Nano. So he's making a lot of noise, but that's all right. And Tarek... Okay, so there the HE grenade goes towards somewhere else, and Tarek is actually just going to sit on it. That's not the smartest move. And Davey. Big plays coming out from the CZs. See, I told you CZs were good. Why'd you doubt me so?
It's only because he's yellow and, you know, it's a Splyce CZ that it worked.
The yellow jacket?
The yellow jacket.
Yeah, boy.
Somebody put a straight jacket on Davey because he's insane. That was, what, a 1v3?
Yeah, or 2v3, 1v3, doesn't matter. You got 3 kills alongside with Jones 2. Splyce pick up a round, give themselves a little bit more of an opportunity coming in towards Inferno, but I still think the result's going to be the same. It's just the scoreline's going to change a little bit. Cloud9 were just playing a little bit too aggressive in positions where they weren't able to trade each other out. They weren't suspecting that Splyce were just going to force straight act into it, I think. They're expecting Glocks and whatnot, maybe a hard train.
I mean, they probably expected it, but just didn't work out. It's 14-4. You got to force at that point. You can't really save for the massive comeback unless you're going, oh, you know, we're going to lose anyway, boys. Let's see how many gun round practices we can get in. Oh, 1. All right, well. But Davey, you know, he's showed up today for the boys. He's doing his best to see if he can get Splyce a couple more rounds on the board. Fortunately, no one else has really done the same. And I just don't see, especially watching, you know, Splyce today, at least so far in this match, I don't see who's going to create the openings on this T side. Everyone's looking so timid. No one's looking like they want to, you know, get the entries in for the boys. No one's taking that role. And unfortunately, it's kind of costing Splyce at the moment. Still, he's just...
Oh,
see,
no.
how does that happen?
Yeah, at least he goes 1 for 1, but still, like, how do you allow that to happen? It's Drew with an MP9. Molotov's now coming towards the baseline. Automatic's feeling a little bit timid. He's only got the CZ in hand at first box. And they are going to be clearing it, and Mitch has spotted him out. We'll spray him down with the MP7. So, Splyce have control of the B site, but there's 2 coming in from Nano, and that's going to be Sempers dueling him out with an M4, and he's actually going to lose the M4 to Scar. Skadoodle nearly finds a second as well. Rush, Moll and Willie trade him out, and now down towards a 2-on-2. There's no kits, so Cloud9 still have to go quick. Rush is now pushing in, but now Tarek, you can see he's very, very close, knows where the enemies is. That should be a good grenade, because he'll finish off Mitch, and Roka will fall towards Rush, pushing in Nana, and they'll get the defuse. Splyce. What do you say for that? Unfortunate, I guess, a little bit. They were able to get the entries, go for 1, but at the end of the day, Cloud9 just a little bit too sharp in the last 2 individuals, and they are now on match point.
And more importantly, all the fish have been saved. Bomb defused. As Splyce go down 15-4. Just, I don't really know. I don't know who's going to provide that entry presence on this lineup, theoretically. Just don't see anybody. Everyone's playing so timidly, except for maybe Davey, who even he is sort of only really getting any work done in sort of the later parts of the round.
Ice could only have a P250. Why?
Needs our money, mate.
What a support player, truly.
A support player, yeah. He's definitely not saving for his own AWP. Surely not.
Yeah, he's saving for the AWP for the next round once Cloud9 wins. Look, Tarek's just already pushed. What do you do in the situation? Good flashbang, but drone. He finally does manage to land the kill. I was a little bit scared that he wasn't, and now it's just the M4 shut down, coming forward from the rest of Cloud9. Splyce can try to back their way out towards Nana, but look at this. The M4 is just ready and waiting to deal on Skewy. He won't be able to finish it off. It'll be Rush cleaning it up. A 16-4 victory for Cloud9. They made it, a couple of dicey rounds for them, but overall pretty easy. And Splyce just too passive, a little bit too scared. We didn't see much from them, and that's a big shame.
Absolutely, not really living up to their potential. And, as for, in my eyes, the Pro League, how the standings are going, Splyce has a fairly decent job of, should be able to, sort of get wins and even, opportunities at 2-0s over those sort of lower tier opponents and mid-tier opponents of the Pro League. But once you're playing up against those Cloud9s, that's where, if you really want to spot at the sort of, the finals, if you want to go to the LAN, you have to dig deep and try to get the 1-1s over those better teams and be able to steal maps off of them. And those kind of showings are really not going to give you the opportunity to do that.
Absolutely. But for Cloud9, I mean, positive signs that they're doing some things right. I mean, we're always scared about this Cloud9 roster. It's, yeah, they've replaced 2 people, how they're integrating pretty well. Actually, Rush and Tarek so far have been always, in my mind, the outstanding members. Stewie, this time around, just making a lot more solo plays, and that, I think, works out a lot better. Sure, it's like sometimes it's over-aggressive and whatnot, but that's Stewie in a nutshell. If you charge him with a sword, you're going to have to be expected to die by the sword as well, and that's Stewie's gameplay in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Rush and Tarek have been pretty much the standouts for Cloud9 in this new iteration, but, when Cloud9 had all their success, it was the Stewie and Automatic show, and even Skadoodle stepping up, so, if they're going to go forward and be the, have the international success, be a successful roster and stuff like that, then I really think that Stewie's the player that sort of needs to step up and become the star player that Cloud9 needs, as well as Automatic putting in those international performances, being a pillar of consistency, closing out those rounds.
To be fair, I think a lot of the criticism isn't, oh, that is disgusting. I don't think the criticism is mainly aimed at Automatic, because every single time Automatic plays against international tier opponents, I feel like he does really well.
Like, Automatic no one on Cloud9 gets any criticism regardless of how they play most of the time. So.
But like in my mind, Automatic is a player probably least deserving of the criticism, because he's actually frequently commented as one of the most smartest players in terms of his role. Like he is, I don't know. It's probably unfair to say that he's probably a lot less better version of Cold Zero. He's not really that clutch player. He's more of just the support play. He plays the harder positions, etc., and he does quite well at it. A lot of the time you just go, oh yeah, Automatic's gone 30 kills, but when did he actually get the 30 kills? You don't really realize it. He's not a flashy player. He does his job. He's got solid mechanics, and that's all you need really sometimes as a 5th member.
Yeah, I think, Cloud9 going forward is going to have a sort of a tougher time, deciding who fits in what role and who's going to make the sacrifices in the team and stuff like that. So, be interesting to see how they do it. But, that's not really the kind of questions we're going to be able to get answered by watching a Pro League of them play against Splyce, especially if Splyce isn't really putting them to any kind of a test and Stewie's just running up Nana, wallbanging you in the head.
Yeah, absolutely. So Splyce, they do go down map number 1, 16-4. Will they have a little bit more hope in the next map? We'll find out. We'll be back after a short break.